environment in the Indian Ocean. Thank you. Over to Dr. Srilata.
Thank you, Will, for giving me an opportunity to speak and be part of this panel, and also very good morning to all the participants and my co-panelists. My topic is emerging strategic environment in Indian Ocean region. We all know that Indian Ocean region has been an important backyard or important aspect in the growing strategic environment in the world and the international politics. Indian Ocean has been very important, and we have been seeing that many changes have been taking place, and India had to look into this perspective, and India had to be going in a very patient manner, and also in a very subtle manner, instead of aggravating China, which is a growing economic power, and also the way the aggressiveness of China we are being seeing now. So in 2014, when Mr. Modi has taken the prime ministership, he has started on the importance of Sagar. That is some Sagar doctrine, that is security and growth of all in the region. And according to this doctrine, he has asserted that India doesn't only think about its well-being, but also sees to the well-being of all the countries in the region. So he highlighted that Sagar doctrine is going to be the prominent aspect of the foreign policy, so that the countries around India would not be intimidated of India's ambitions as been projected or anything, but India has a country which is going to help the other countries in the neighborhood for their development. And the second aspect is we are talking about India's aspiration to be net security provider in the Indian Ocean region, especially the emergence of Indian Navy in the Indian Ocean, the aspirations of the Indian Navy, how to look into the security connotations in the happening in the Indian Ocean. What is the role to be played by the Indian Navy, and what are the aspects how Indian Navy would playing its diplomatic card. And this would be more friendly rather than in a confrontation manner. And when we are talking about the net security provider, it was talking about the Indian foreign policy, or the Prime Minister has been talking about how India is willing to help the countries in the region in also protecting their security interest and their economic interest. And this net security provider of the Indian Navy, or by the Indian Navy and the Indian's foreign policy, becomes an important aspect in the Indian Ocean region. And the third aspect is neighborhood first. And this Prime Minister Modi has established that the immediate neighborhood of India would be the first priority. And we look from the maritime domain, we look at the immediate extended neighborhood. So you find that the neighborhood become a very important aspect in the growth of India's economic growth, and also in the security and strategic importance of the region. So COVID-19 has come as a blessing. We should be taking it in manner, because it has opened up many arenas where the Indian foreign policy diplomacy could be tested. Now, when you look at COVID-19, everyone had been looking at it from a perspective where it could break the economic growth of the countries and all that. But the other aspect which has come into forefront is the security concerns. So when we look at COVID-19, not only the economic disturbances, but the security concerns, the possible rechanging or re-establishing of dominance come into the focus. So as an emerging power, as a regional power, how is India going to make it marks? So when we talk of COVID-19, India was able to become the first responder in the neighborhood, in the form of helping the countries by providing and evacuating the citizens. In March, India was able, when it was evacuating its citizens from Wuhan, even the other citizens from Bangladesh, Madagascar, South Korea were also evacuated in the Indian flights, and they were quarantined in India. This is one friendly gesture India has moved forward. And the second thing is India has provided medicines and other medical help to the neighboring countries immediately. It was the first responder, the first country which has done early in March. And in the third aspect, India has tried to reconnect its relations with the neighborhood or the countries which had been in a certain way, which were in a demising manner or in a descending manner, especially its relations with Malaysia and Iran. During this COVID times, India is trying to maintain good relations, or trying to re-establish or shaping its relations with Malaysia and Iran. So when we look into this aspect, COVID has provided in India a very diplomatic chance where it could assert its presence. And at the military or strategic level, what is the role? How is India asserting itself, or India is projecting itself in the world? So when you look at this, India has been playing very patiently in a very nimble manner, trying to gain the goodwill of the neighborhood and also in the international arena. And the first thing, we have been very, very patient when we talk about the South China Sea problems and all that. India has been giving very guarded responses, and India has been saying that India has specific nation-specific interest, and it would not be interfering in any other sovereign nations, countries, or issues. So here you find that the COVID has provided an issue where India could again re-establish its foreign policies. Here you find it the recent face-off between India and China in Ladakh. India has been very, very patient, and it has been also proving itself or showing to the world how patient and how diligently India is working towards maintaining the peace in the region. And at the same time, India is on high alert on the high seas and in its waters. It is not only on one side showing its a softer nature, but also on the other side, India is tough. You find that it in the high seas. High seas are the places where the country can show or assert their dominance in the region. So when you find that when Chinese naval ships have entered in the region or in the vicinity of the high seas of the Indian Ocean region, India is more firm in its dealing with it. When there were ships which were trying to review the seabed and all that, India was very clear on that these ships are not to be allowed in this region at this particular juncture, and India has been guarding it with its navy in a very, very firm manner. And this is also one area where you find the naval dominance of India in the Indian Ocean is really helping India in protecting its land boundaries. Okay, well, some of the naval systems like P-81 aircraft surveillance fighters are used in the surveillance of the land border issues, whether it has been Doklam, where the standoff was for more than 73 days. They have used these surveillance fighters through which they could keep an eye what was happening both in the day and the night because of the high intensity technology and also all weather feasibility. These fighter surveillance were giving a good information through which the defense forces were able to maintain what's happening at the border places. So even during the Doklam, the naval systems have been helpful, and now even in the Ladakh face-off, we also having these fighter surveillance, which are giving everyday date throughout the day the pictures and all this information, so that the defense of the army is fighting the or looking into how these things don't escalate and go out from the normal peaceful this thing. So at the same time, we find that the emerging situation in the Indian Ocean region, you find the role of the Navy becoming all the more important so that the situation does not escalate into war. No country would like to have war. Even China would always like to create uncertainty in the vicinity of India, but I don't think any analyst would think that it would outrightly go for war. This the Malacca dilemma of China, where China has this concept that energy trade routes would be blocked by any country. It's been highlighted. This it would be a vulnerability for China till 2030. But we are in 2020, and we know that how far is it feasible? Does China has other options, or we are still going on these debates without looking into what's happening at the field level? So the debates would be moving forward whether there is a Malacca dilemma or not, whether we could contain China. If we have to contain China, what are the other various ways we have to look into it? Why is China doing all these things? It could be either to divert the world attention of its doings, and also it knew that all the countries more or less are economically disturbed, and US is totally inside struggling with a weak leadership. I personally feel it's a weak leadership struggling with COVID pandemic and the next election issue, presidential elections. And you find that there is no other country which could really counter China's ambitions. US, France have more interest in the Indian Ocean region, And France is an island, Reunion Islands, and another island to which it has a large EEZ. And even France aircraft carrier, which is in this region, has to be vacated or moved away because of most of the naval persons have been affected by the COVID. And even in March, we find that 3 aircrafts of US personnel have been affected by COVID, and they have to be moved. Only 1 aircraft was moving in the Indian Ocean and the Pacific Ocean. Now, recently, just 2 days back, I think that all the 3 aircraft carriers were in a position to come back, and they are in the vicinity of Philippines and Vietnam. So if there is any issue which escalates between India or China, we find there is an international support and also, goodwill to India that these countries would come forward for the Indian support. And next thing is, we may not have foreign soldiers in our land, but at least we could have the support of the navies in the high seas, which could pressurize a aggressive country or a nation to undo its thing. So with the emerging international politics, we find that Indian Ocean region is going to become a very, very critical region and also very strategic thing, which has provided India an opportunity to establish what it has been saying. One, Sagar concept, that it is there and the growth for all the neighborhood in the region. Second, that the net security provided by the Indian Navy. And the third is neighborhood first. So India has been highlighting these things in the doctrine's form. And now the occasion has come where India can prove its asserts diplomacy or his way of strategic ambitions to these difficult times. And now India as a country, as an emerging country, economic important country, India has to face multiple problems from different directions, whether it could be COVID, whether it could face off between China, the issue with Pakistan, or internal disturbances. You find that India has to face all this them at one go. And so far, India has been successful. Not only that, India could also garner a lot of goodwill in the international arena, the way it has handled COVID in the country and also handled the tiff with the China, the way India has been handling Pakistan, and also the way India has been pushing ahead its major membership in the UNSC or in the other world organizations. India is now a power or in a country which cannot be anymore ignored or stated as a second best. It has its own compatibility, it has its own agenda, and it has its own state autonomy and foreign policy, which India has been trying to show the world and tell the world and aspiring it. And the occasion has come in multiple ways where India could prove it. And the world is here to look at it. And the Indian Navy in the Indian Ocean region is going to be the major theater which could also influence what's happening in South China Sea. And India's main issue would be that the spillover of South China Sea conflict wouldn't spill over into Indian Ocean region, so that it doesn't affect the neighborhood of India and also doesn't affect the neighborhood India itself. So you find that the strategies which we have been debating for long, the practical aspects of it have come forward. I would stop it here, hopefully. Is it okay, Marvin? Do I have some more time?
If you want, you can go ahead. There's a few more minutes are there. Or if you want to end here, it's up to you.
Okay, I'll just end with 2 lines. China has been trying to assert itself and India, and it's going to change the world order. And this change of the world has already started. And COVID-19 is only escalating it. So no one could stop it now or anything, what is going to happen. So the issues would be how you are going to shape yourself and how the country of India is going to define its role in the changing world order. Either it could be secondary or either it would be an area of US and other countries, or will India would be able in a position to define or change or move the clock from the China. So we have lot many issues before us, and Indian Ocean region is going to be one of the major areas where India could bring out many changes, and the goodwill of India would really help it in bringing out these changes. Thank you. I'll stop here. Next.
Thank you, Dr. Srilada. You have touched upon the emergence of Indian Ocean region and also highlighted the India's medical diplomacy, the India's first neighborhood policy, how the Indian navies are playing in the Indian Ocean region. Also, the no intervention policy finally ended up with the China factor in the Indian Ocean. So you have covered up or given a summary of what is happening in the Indian Ocean region. And